Hello everyone, welcome back to Mindscape Stories. I'm really glad you're here today. Take a deep breath, relax, and join me as we step inside the mind of Robert, a young man facing one of the moments that can truly test us all. Robert sat nervously in the quiet waiting room of a conference hall. A folder of papers rested on his lap, and his fingers tapped lightly against it. Today wasn't just any day. Today, he had to present a project in front of a group of experienced people, the kind of people whose judgment could shape his future. Every part of him screamed, "What if I mess up? What if they laugh at my ideas? What if I freeze in front of everyone?" His heartbeat quickened, his stomach twisted in knots. Even though he had rehearsed multiple times, his mind refused to cooperate. Robert's thoughts began to race. The familiar cycle of overthinking had returned. Maybe I should skip this. Maybe I'll fail and embarrass myself. Maybe they'll think I'm not good enough. Each thought multiplied the next. Each what if seemed more terrifying than the last. He remembered every time this had happened before, moments where he froze and let fear control him, and he hated himself for it. But he also remembered something he had learned. Fear doesn't disappear until you face it. Robert closed his eyes. He felt the gentle air brushing against his face, ruffling his black and white hair. He took a slow, deep breath, trying to steady his racing heart. He whispered to himself, "Okay, just one step at a time." Even saying it out loud gave him a strange sense of courage. The storm inside didn't vanish, but it became quieter. The conference room began to fill. People entered, chatting softly, adjusting their chairs, flipping through notes. Robert watched them, feeling the pressure intensify with every movement. His hands were sweaty. His mind whispered again, "You can't do this. You're not ready." He shook his head slightly. No, he couldn't let fear control him. Not today. When his name was called, Robert's chest tightened. Every muscle in his body screamed to run. But instead, he stood up. One step, then another. He walked toward the stage, the lights slightly warm and blinding. The audience looked up at him, expectant, curious, and for the first time in a long while, he focused not on the judgment of others, but on his own voice, his own thoughts, his own preparation. Robert adjusted his black hoodie, cleared his throat. "Okay, I can do this," he whispered. His mind raced. If I forget my lines, if I stumble. He looked at the first row of faces, a mix of serious expressions, pens tapping, eyes waiting. The fear surged again, but he let it pass like a wave, letting his feet remain planted on the ground. Finally, Robert began to speak. Each word was careful, deliberate. His voice shook slightly at first, but he kept going. With every sentence, his confidence grew. With every idea explained, his hands stopped trembling. He smiled, not at the audience, but at himself. He had faced the fear, and step by step, he was moving forward. Halfway through his presentation, Robert felt something change. The tightness in his chest eased, the storm of doubt softened. He looked around, nods of understanding, a few smiles, and he realized the audience wasn't there to tear him down. They were there to listen, learn, and engage. That tiny realization was enough to keep him moving, word by word, idea by idea. Finally, he concluded his talk. A round of applause echoed softly. Robert exhaled deeply, a smile spreading across his face. The fear that had felt like a wall moments ago had dissolved, not because the challenge disappeared, but because he had faced it. He had chosen action over hesitation. Step by step, decision by decision, he had grown stronger. And that's the moment I want you to pause with me. Think about your own life, the times you stopped yourself because of fear, the moments where hesitation ruled. Robert's story isn't unique, it's human. And just like him, you have the power to take that small step, to face your fears, to move forward. Now I want to hear from you. What's one step you've been afraid to take? Share it in the comments. I read every story. If this story inspired you even a little, like the video, subscribe to Mindscape Stories, and join us for more journeys into the thoughts, emotions, and choices that shape our lives.
Remember, the bravest thing you can do is often the smallest step forward. Take that step today. See you in the next story.